cell division causes the growth of a body. See, one cell divides to form two, two divides to form four, and the process continues, and this brings about growth in a body. See, a little boy grows into a toddler, again cell divides, so the number of cells increases, and he becomes a teenager, and finally he reaches adulthood. But when we divide a chocolate, it always reduces in size, and also the volume gets halved. The volume of the cells remain constant in the next generation. So during cell division, when one cell divides to form two cells and two cells divide to form four, then the genetic characteristics of the cells remain intact. Also, the cellular organelles remain intact in the daughter cells. They do not get halved. How does this happen? Let us see. So, for this to happen, first the cell should double its volume and then cell division should take place. So this doubling of cell and then cell division, this process repeats, and so this process is known as a cell cycle. So a cell first enters into a growth phase known as the G1 phase. In the G1 phase, first of all, formation of new organelles take place, and also many proteins and RNA are formed, which helps in DNA doubling. Next, the cell goes to the second phase known as the synthesis phase or the S phase. In the synthesis phase, the proteins that were prepared in the G1 phase acts on the chromatin fibers and causes DNA duplication. So there are 46 chromatin fibers in the nucleus, and after the S phase, each of these 46 chromatin fibers are joined at a point to an identical chromatin fiber. After the S phase, the cell moves to another growth phase known as the G2 phase. Now what happens in the G2 phase? Well, again, proteins and RNA are formed, which helps in the cell division. After the G2 phase, the cell enters the mitotic phase or the M phase. During this time, chromatin fibers move to the opposite poles to form the nucleus of the daughter cells, and finally, the cytoplasmic contents divide to form two new daughter cells. Now, this cell cycle is a time-dependent process. See, the G1 phase lasts for about 10 hours, followed by S phase, which lasts for 6 hours. G2 phase takes 4 hours to complete, and finally, the M phase takes 2 hours. This is an approximate time, so together it approximately takes 22 to 23 hours. Now in adulthood, if a person meets with an accident as a result of which he gets paralyzed, then it is very difficult to recover. This is because nerve cells after reaching adulthood does not divide, so no new nerve cells are formed. So what happens in the nerve cell? Does it not go through the entire cell cycle? Well, no, it does not. It enters into the G1 phase, but instead of going to the S phase, it enters into another phase known as G0 phase, and the growth stops there. Now the G1 phase, G0 phase, S phase, and the G2 phase together forms the interphase. Inter means between. It is the longest phase that causes growth of a cell, or the cell increases in volume. After the interphase comes the M phase or the mitotic phase, where cell division takes place.